Hey, good morning. So today's read is a very interesting read because it has to do with, I'll put it this way. It helps a little bit today if you can sort of tell the difference between the you that is out in the world that has to deal with very earthly issues all the time, feet on the ground, taking care of things, and the other part of you that is perhaps more spiritual. Now, I don't mean religious, and I don't even mean if you don't feel that you're religious and you don't have a belief system of any kind. But you can kind of tell the difference between your inner voice and the way you must present yourself. It's like this because there's a real duality to this energy. It's important to know what your gut tells you about things that are very, very earthly, because there are things that we don't agree with that we have to go and agree with and just go about and deal with every day, because the world is not made on a spiritual plane. Our religions are organized in business. We have to deal every day with many different kinds of people and many different kinds of beliefs, and that is totally good. But we often have to just keep a blind eye to a lot of moral issues. Now, if you can have the self-awareness, people who have the self-awareness of those two parts of themselves, some is just for ease, some is for survival. That's sort of dealing with things we don't necessarily agree with. And some of it is a little bit of a weakness, and we all have it on our parts because we live in a big world with big things. If you have that, today is the kind of day, now I'm going to get very earthly now, that you need to pull the trigger on big projects and big moves. You need to boom, right out of the gate. Because you will have the knowing when to stop and when to start. Because we all know that even if something starts with a big bang, like a really big hit and a sudden move and let's do it, let's sign it, let's make the decision, let's just go for broke. You know that even in those minutes, you have to pull and push and pull and push. The big moves, if you are aware, will always be on the side of good, and today is that day. So if you are planning to do anything, I brought this up a little bit in another way a couple of days ago, but this is really different. These aren't just sudden purchases and things like that. These are things like, do we move the company to South America? Do I sign a contract, right, for 7 movies with this movie studio? It's big. Now, that's obviously not everybody, but what is big to you, right? Do I decide to even hire a babysitter for an entire month? That's huge for a lot of people. Those things that will bring you some relief, some big step that you're afraid of, today is the day to, if you aren't ready or don't know what it is, today's the day to actually start the plans, to start the moving. Now, when we do these kinds of energies, we have these kinds of energies and we work within them, we have to remember that the gut instinct of this, should you have worked on yourself at least a little bit, needs to be unquestioned. You need to make the decision. You know it's right. It's never the end of the world under these conditions, and just go. Make the decision that works for you, that's going to build. Look, even if it just builds your confidence, it can always affect the community immediately around you. And it's important to remember, this sort of energy teaches you lessons in doing things for your gut, for yourself, that in turn mirrors your community. Anyway, health-wise, it's actually a really good day. I do want you to be a little bit careful of headaches and upper neck shoulder issues because we tend to tighten up when we make scary moves. Also when we feel things coming. And if we're intuitive, we always feel things coming. Some of us tend to clench up because of just fear of the new. Anyway, have a great day. I will see you tomorrow.